Be working on project 2, and this is the expressive dialogue process. So first thing you're going to do is establish content. Then you're going to establish typefaces. You're going to do thumbnail sketches, digital variations, color and final revisions. That should say step 5. So establishing content. Choose a dialogue between two characters talking from a movie, a TV show, book, a play. Make sure that the characters are contrasting. The dialogue should be about 30 to 40 words total. So if you make sure that it's around here, if you have like a 90 word dialogue, that's going to be too much. But if you go a little bit over 40, like 45 or 50, that's going to be fine. Try not to go under 30, or try not to go too far under 30. And then you're going to create a list of keywords and adjectives that convey qualities of each character in that scene. Also think about words that convey the conversation as a whole. Use the 3 best words to focus on, one of each character and one for the conversation as a whole. So this person wrote down Joker and Harley Quinn as the 2 characters, made a big list of words associated with Joker, a big list of words that are associated with Harley Quinn, and the conversation as a whole. And then it looks like they're, at this point of the process, they're thinking about extreme, obey, and permission. Once you have those 3 words, you're going to stick with those, and that's going to help you design the expressive part of this poster. Number 2, you're going to establish typefaces. Research typefaces from the Good Typeface list posted on iCollege underneath resources. And you're going to look through them, and you're going to find the 2 typefaces that best convey your characters. And pay attention to the anatomical details of the letter form in order to recognize how the subtle details visually convey your 3 key words. So, for example, this slab letter compared to this, you can already see that they're contrasting. You can already see 2 different characters amongst both of these letters. And then you're going to say like, hey, you know, like I'm doing SpongeBob, a scene out of SpongeBob, and Patrick seems very like a slab face typeface, right? Because, you know, Patrick is kind of curvy, soft edges. I don't know, this looks like a Patrick to me. But this one looks more like a Squidward. Maybe the conversation is between these 2 characters, Squidward and Patrick, and you give them each their own typeface. And then underneath the resources, you also have this Good Typeface specimen list, and that's really helpful because it gives you an idea of what each font or each style looks like within each typeface. So this one is like a thin version of this fruitiger, and then this is a medium, and then this is an italicized medium, and then italicized bold. So that's what the specimen sheet's about. It's to help you decide on what each font looks like whenever you select them. So yeah, you'll study each font within a family to apply them in a striking manner for your poster. You'll ask like questions like, does a set of italics convey speed or slowness? Maybe your conversation is very fast or very slow, so maybe italicize expresses speed better than a bold, just regular style. Number 3, you'll do thumbnail sketches. You'll develop 20 or more thumbnail sketches exploring size, spacing, and composition. Consider composition in the space and how the dialogue breaks into words or lines. That's misspelled. What is the overall shape of the words? Do not write out the entire dialogue, but rather represent the content in loose compositional shapes. Yeah, so you don't want to write everything out because that would take too long, but think about them in shapes. Like if you really think about it, If you look at this paragraph right here, and you were to like zoom out, or if you just weren't thinking about the details within this paragraph, it becomes a really big rectangle. If you broke down that into lines, into these lines of text, that becomes a one long rectangle. If you broke this line into just the words, then you're seeing smaller shapes, you're seeing smaller rectangles, smaller squares. And yeah, that's basically what you're doing with these thumbnail sketches. You're breaking them down into basic shapes. Maybe this really big rectangle is going to be a filler for really, really big type, and it's going to take up this much space. Yeah, so make them more compositional like these, and then you'll be able to come up with 20 thumbnail sketches really quickly. These are really great. These like that are just like squiggly. That's obviously one character, and this is another character, maybe a more looser character versus a more strict character. And remember to like be considerate on like how you're photographing your work. If you're photographing it, make sure there's no shadows in the shot, no wires, crop everything out. And if you're scanning them, like you won't have too many problems because scanning is a really great way of saving your work if you have that access. And if you are working on like an iPad or like a tablet, that's fine too. You don't have to have it on sketch paper. Just make sure you're saving all your work, and remember to number and label each thumbnail so we can talk about them easier. Then digital variations. So remember you have two different posters that you're going to be submitting. So A, develop digital layouts and variations based on the strongest two sketches from step 3. Work in black and white before experimenting with color. Explore 10 variations. Make sure to save all variations for process work, and post the 2 versions in black and white for review on Slack. So yeah, make sure you're only working in black and white and that you're using the best composition from this step, from process 3. And then you're going to explore 10 variations of that one. And then for B, using the same keyword and typefaces, start a second version of the posters using a grid to establish clear organization and alignment. Try to maintain as much expression as the best version from poster A. Print the 2 versions in black and white for review. Or no, we're not printing anything, just posting. You will have 4 iterations of your poster before revising to 2 final versions. 2 of your best iterations designed without the grid, A, and 2 designed with the grid, B. So yeah, when you're done with A, when you have like a really good version of A, you're basically going to copy this version and then paste it onto a composition with a grid. And then you're going to use that grid to align things a little bit better. But remember, you still want to maintain as much expression as the best version from poster A. And the reason why you're doing one without the grid and one with the grid is because you'll start to understand like why a grid is helpful in design. Yeah, you'll start. A lot of people work with grids, but it's true that sometimes when you're working with a grid, it does feel less expressive. But this is a way for you to test out both methods. Okay, and step 5, color and final revisions. Explore 10 or more color palettes applied to your final compositions. Post at least 2 color variations of each poster to compare for pinup. Address any final refinements in typeface, color composition to reinforce keywords. Narrow down your poster to 2 final ones. 1 color version designed with grid, and one design without the grid. So for this pinup, you're going to have basically 4 posters. 2 of poster A, the one without the grid, and 2 with poster B with the grid. And then after that pinup, you're going to narrow down your poster to 2 final ones, one colored for each poster. And yeah, that's about it.